I know some of you, and thank you for coming. And for people who I don't know, I'll just tell you a little bit about who I am and why this very unknown person gets to sit here and talk to you today. I write a blog called TamaraOutloud.com. It's on the card that you have there. And I write thoughts about real life and real faith. And you might wonder, why would you want to read some random person's thoughts? I wonder it too when I see that people read it. But I think that it's because of that warning. Because I am unfiltered in my message. And I'm unashamed in my faith. And I'm not clobbering you with it, but it's a part of who I am. And I'm not going to filter my message for anybody. If you don't want to hear it, you can leave. And I'm not going to be mad at you, but you can just leave. So I have this blog. And I also write for a website called The Deeper Story, and where we tell stories of Christ and culture. So I wrote this story for A Deeper Story, and it was very personal and very difficult. And there was a gigantic community response to it. I think just that openness of saying, here's what my heart looks like, and it's hurt and it's messy. People are like, me too. And so there was a big response to this essay that I wrote that asked the question, what's a girl worth? Because a lot of the messages that I've gotten throughout my life have been negative. So there was this great response where people, not just women, men and women, were just responding saying, I have stories too. And so I took this super popular blog post to a publisher who already knew me because I had an essay in one of their books. So they knew I could write, and I said, what do you think about turning this blog post and all these other people who have these stories, what do you think about turning it into a book, like a collection of essays? And they're like, we love it. So I didn't have an agent and I didn't have a big pitch. I was just like, do you want this? And I'm like, yep, we do. So it was crazy and exciting. So the book is in the editing stages right now. I'm still getting submissions in and figuring out what's going to help put the story forward the best way. So that's coming out this summer. It's called What a Woman is Worth. And so because I had this blog platform, and because I had the second platform at A Deeper Story, the publisher, they didn't really even need a big comprehensive proposal. I mean, they wanted to see my ideas, but they knew that I had this audience from Tamara Out Loud, and I had additional audience from A Deeper Story. So just having like that tribe already in place, besides having a story that they wanted to share, that told them that I could sell it. So that's kind of why I get to be here, just because of the people who read my thoughts. So that's pretty cool. So how I realized, and I'm going to call it a niche, and I don't care if you think I'm pretentious. That is just the way that I learned it. And my friend Jeff Goins, who was speaking in another room, he was like, that's so pretentious. And I'm like, you're the one who took me to a coffee shop where I can't order a Diet Coke. I tried to order a Diet Coke, and the barista was like, we don't have soda here. So I'm not pretentious. I order Diet Coke at hipster bars. I just call it a niche. So you can call it a niche if you want, but I'm calling it a niche. So how I discovered that that's what I was doing. I wrote this. Ooh, nope. I have to get your help before I tell you the story. I promised Brian that I would not use any F words. I use them on my blog when I feel they're appropriate, but I don't really know you guys, so I'm not going to F word you, at least until after we've had a few drinks together. So I need a one-syllable word that I can use instead of the F word.
Frack.
Be creative. What is it?
Frog.
Frog? Okay, frog. Okay, so when I say frog, you just think the F word. Okay. I wrote this poem on my blog. It was called Anger in 17 Words. And I'll just tell it to you because it's only 17 words. It goes, "It's a good thing God is so full of grace because I am Tap the Frog out." So I wrote this poem, and my writing mentor read it, and she said, "You know, you are setting yourself up as a niche writer." And I was like, frog. Because I thought that meant no audience. Like tiny, nobody's going to read it, audience. And at first it did mean that. But as I kept just doing my thing, it turned into a not so tiny, very specific, very loyal audience. So now, you know, when I think of being this, as she called me, she said that my niche was hilarious Christians who say frog. So I'm like, if that's the group I'm in, that's fine, because that's where I'm comfortable. That's where I can be me. And I wouldn't trade all the, you know, having this small, specific, loyal group, I wouldn't trade that for random masses ever, because it wouldn't mean as much. So that's how I knew that I was a niche writer. So I have these steps. I'm not a step person, but just to communicate this information for you guys today, I'm going to suck it up. And I will tell you what I have found worked, what happened, really. I didn't set out to do this. It's just who I am. But the steps to embracing your niche. So if you can write it down, here we go. Step 1 is own it. You need to find what it is that you're passionate about, that you love. What is your calling? What's your gifting? And you need to ask yourself, what would I be happy doing even if no one ever knew about it? And then that's what you need to do. And you need to embrace who you are and what you do. You need, be proud of it.